All right, here we are on the React section. So I'm going to show you a series of images. This is where I'm going to have to toggle back and forth, but they're also available to you on the document. I'm going to show you an image on the screen, and it's here on this document, here on the side, matching 1, 1, so on and so forth. And I want you to react with a sentence or a few words while sort of thinking about how does this help us better understand U.S. history. So what about this image suggests that we should study U.S. history? So our first image, here it is, React. Think about the context of American history. The first one is this image here. This is asking the question, what does America look like? From National Geographic, this is suggesting the changing face of America, what the majority of Americans will look like in 30 years, so by the year 2050. We know we're getting like more and more of a mixed race culture. What will that mean for people? How will Americans look in 30 years? So you're responding to this here in number 1. You would say like, this image of what America will look like makes me think blah, blah, blah. So whatever it is, like, you're feeling about that. Once you've done that, we're going to move on to number 2. If at any time I'm moving too fast through this, you can go ahead and pause the video and come back to it. Number 2 has a series of 3 images. So the first one comes from the Civil Rights Movement of 1960, this black and white here image. You see police officers, German shepherds, people protesting for their civil rights. And the second one down here is from 2017. If you remember the Charlottesville protests that happened, white supremacists and kind of that uprising. And then this last one is from 2020, just this summer. That was here in Denver. So what about these suggest we need to study American history? Or like, what do we need to know? What do you know about these images? What do they make you feel right now? So respond to that here in number 2. Number 3, this is Kamala Harris. Again, a timely image that I pulled. She is the first black woman and the first woman of Southeast Asian descent, Indian descent, to be nominated to be Vice President of the United States. And what's the significance of that? Why do we care? She's responding to Kamala Harris here in number 3. Number 4, this is the Squad. They were getting a lot of press last year, a little bit this year, definitely. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, this woman right here, I would say is the most widely known. She actually spoke at the DNC recently. If you were following along with that, she endorsed Bernie Sanders. She was the second for his nomination. Of course, he didn't get the nomination, but she was there speaking at the DNC. We also have Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Ayanna Pressley, who are women of color as representatives. So why do we care? What is significant about this? So you're responding to the Squad here. In number 4, the Squad. Number 5. So we've got kind of another dual image situation here. We've got a string of kids. This is Parkland. And this is Emma Gonzalez, the survivor of the Parkland shooting in Florida. She was very emotional when she was speaking at March for Our Lives, which was a protest in Washington, D.C. that called for much stricter gun control legislation, particularly in safety and securities for schools. She stood on the stage for a length of the gunman's shooting spree, and she said, 6 minutes and about 20 seconds. In a little over 6 minutes, 17 of our friends were taken from us, 15 were injured, and everyone in the Douglas community was forever altered. Why do we care about this? Why would I bring this up in a U.S. history class? All right, the next one. This is a trio of boys that are the exact same. These here on the left, and here they are on the right. So if you see up here at the top, these are 3 Lakota boys, Carlisle Indian Industry School, circa 1900. The Lakota tribe is a Plains Native American tribe, the Lakota Sioux. These Indian schools were often where students, children were taken or sent, were forcefully sent to be anglicized, to be made more American looking. So their hair was cut, they were not allowed to speak their language, their clothes were burned, they were not allowed to practice their native religions. It's like, why is this important? Why would I show you this image of these boys? This next one, and I know it's going to get some heat, this is an image of, obviously, Donald Trump, the President of the United States currently, with Mike Pence, the Vice President, in the back, and then we also have Paul Ryan. This was taken in the first State of the Union. He subsequently had other States of the Union, where he basically talks about like how great the United States is doing and how great of a leader he is, etc., etc. Why would I be showing you this image, particularly this year? So what's significant about studying American history in like this kind of year particularly? So think about that. The next one here is an image from the border. We've seen a lot of images like this. These are a bunch of migrant children who are being forced into cells, holding cells, without blankets, without food, without basic sanitation. Why is this important? This is number 9. These are collected USPS mailboxes. If you've been following the news recently, you've been hearing about how the Postal Service is really under attack. It's the federal government organization that most people associate themselves with. It's a 92% favorability, the United States Postal Service, and unfortunately, like, they have been collecting these collection boxes and storing them in warehouses and collecting and turning off sorting machines. Why is this significant? Why should we look at this as part of U.S. history? Respond to that. And then last but not least, we've got graduation caps. Why is this part of the U.S. history story? And why these graduation caps? Once you're done with that, you can close this video and then follow back over here. You'll see another video link here. We'll read the Stretch It together. There's some response questions. If we don't get to this, that's fine. Again, this is just a Stretch It. It does help you wrap your brain around contextualization a bit more. And it is interesting. So I'll see you over there.